The dark side of Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley, who passed away on August 16, 1977, is known for his love for his mother, eccentric tastes, and magnificent songs. However, behind the iconic image, there were less flattering facts. He owned a chimpanzee, his womanizer persona began to affect his personal relationships, and his famous dark hair was actually dyed. In reality, he was a natural blonde. He never wrote anything and barely played the guitar. Elvis Presley, despite being a monumental figure in music history, surprisingly admitted to not having written any songs himself. He is credited as a co-writer on several tracks, but these credits were often more for publicity than a reflection of his songwriting contributions. In a candid 1957 interview, Elvis revealed that he had never written a song or even had an idea for one. Additionally, he confessed that while he carried a guitar on stage, he didn't actually play it, it served more as a prop to enhance his stage presence. This revelation might indeed be shocking to those who assumed the king of rock and roll was also a prolific songwriter. He and his manager cheated their way to royalties. Elvis Presley's songwriting credits were largely due to his manager, Colonel Tom Parker's business tactics. Despite not having written the songs, Presley was credited as a co-writer on several tracks. However, Dolly Parton resisted such exploitation. When Presley wanted to cover her song, "I Will Always Love You," Parton declined to give up half of the royalties, ensuring that the benefits of her work would remain with her and her family. He regularly impersonated police officers. Elvis Presley had a unique hobby of impersonating law enforcement, which included pulling over speeders and giving them autographed tickets as a warning to slow down. This unusual behavior is part of the many stories that add to the legend of Elvis, showing a different side of his personality beyond his music and public persona. While it was certainly against the law to impersonate an officer, Elvis's actions were seen more as playful antics rather than malicious intent. It's one of the many quirks that made Elvis such an intriguing and multifaceted figure in pop culture history. His manager forced the womanizer image on him for profit. Elvis Presley's image as a heartthrob was partly shaped by his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, who promoted him as the ultimate bachelor. This was highlighted in 1956 when Elvis's then-girlfriend, June Wanico, was publicly dismissed by Parker to maintain Elvis's single status. Such publicity moves likely strained Elvis's romantic relationships, but they also allowed for personal freedom, as seen when Wanico chose to marry someone else, leaving Elvis alone as her train departed. He started dating Priscilla when she was just 14. Elvis Presley met Priscilla Beaulieu when she was just 14 and he was 24, during his military service in Germany. Their relationship began there and continued long distance after his return to the US. Despite the controversy over their age difference, they eventually married. Priscilla moved to the US to be with him at the age of 15, and they married in 1967. The couple's relationship was complex, marked by highs and lows, and ended in divorce in 1973. Priscilla has since spoken about their time together, reflecting on the good and challenging aspects of their life together. Elvis and his mother were maybe a little too close. Elvis Presley's deep bond with his mother, Gladys, was well known and had a profound impact on his life and relationships. Gladys provided Elvis with immense love and attention, which led him to hold mothers in high regard. Their relationship was characterized by affectionate pet names and a level of closeness that was unusual for a mother and adult son. This closeness was so pronounced that it influenced his relationships with other women, including his future wife Priscilla, who shared similar physical traits with Gladys. The unique dynamic between Elvis and his mother is a notable aspect of his personal history. Elvis has left the building, via the bathroom. Elvis Presley's death on August 16, 1977, was indeed a tragic and unexpected event. The king of rock and roll passed away at his Graceland home at the age of 42. The official cause of death was a heart attack, with the Shelby County coroner attributing it to cardiac arrhythmia. While initial reports speculated about a drug overdose due to the presence of prescription drugs in his system, this was later ruled out as the cause of death. Instead, hypertensive heart disease, with coronary artery disease as a contributing factor, was identified. The circumstances of his death, while not as dignified as one might hope for such an influential figure, do not diminish the incredible impact he had on music and culture worldwide.
I only met him once backstage after a show for a short period of time. The gentleman that introduced us hurried my sister and I out of the room quick, for Elvis was about ready to leave the room when we got there. He also had the flu that night, but you wouldn't have known it from his performance. He was kind enough to stay when we went in. Elvis was very nice and asked us if we liked the show. A show that was just outstanding. When leaving, he turned to my sister and I one by one and shook hands. A handshake that was almost like holding your hand since we were ladies. It was like he was afraid he might hurt you if he shook it too hard. I managed to get the words out that he was the greatest. He thanked me. We were not there long, but the memory is forever.
Like most people who are screwed up, a cocktail of genetics, upbringing, and lifestyle. In his case, reckless substance abuse, poor nutrition, poor sleep, poor exercise, and being isolated by fame and insularity that was made worse by how he was managed by Colonel Parker and others.
His mother was controlling and did not let him out of her sight. She constantly told him he was special and that when one twin died, the other who lived had the powers of both. These behaviors put a strain on the mind of Elvis throughout his life. He never felt free. His manager also controlled his every move in his career and personal life.
What do you think about this? Please write in the comments.